Hey guys, this is Introducing Emmy, and we're back with another Redline Tuesday. This one is by, I believe this is pronounced Minecrafter, but I keep calling it Mina Crofter. But anyway, it sounds very German. So this is the one we're working on today. I have a whole list of things that I want to go over with this one. I hope that doesn't sound bad. So here we go. Let's get started. First thing we're going to do is I'm going to flip it, because again, as always, I've been looking at it for way too long in this one direction. And I'm actually going to edit the original image. So here's the full thing, and you can see there's like a real slant going on. So first what we'll do is we'll set, I'm trying to think which, I think we're going to use the feet as the plumb line mark, because I think she's leaning more that way than she is going this way. So go like these. This is where we want our head. Now, human bodies aren't perfectly straight, I get that, but this helps kind of align the neck over the feet. So like this. There we go. We're actually going to move everything over a little bit so we're centered. Okay. I'm going to just make the plumb line a little lighter and we're going to get started. Okay, so already it's a pretty big improvement from before just by warping the image a little bit. So okie dokie. I'm trying to think how I would like to, like, if I can take any shortcuts while I do this. Well, let's just go for it and if I think of something along the way. So they said they wanted kind of a manga look to this, or that was the look they were going for. And one thing with manga is I probably shouldn't just use the general word manga. I maybe they meant more like shoujo manga, which is like girl manga. It tends to be a little less detailed, I guess. I hate using words like that because detail's a good thing, and I don't want to say that not having detail is a bad thing, but like it's a little more smooth or simplified. I think that's a better way to say it. So a quick tip for drawing rib cages, because I've explained it before, but kind of drawing them straight on like this is sort of difficult. But one way to think about it is like you're sort of drawing like a tank top armor kind of thing at the top, if that helps at all, if that helps explain it. So there are the hips. So the crotch is a little low for her proportions, so we're just going to move it up ever so slightly. In fact, I could even stand to move the ribs up just a little bit more. Just a little bit, not a lot. Okay. And then, so we've got our basic torso, which is great. I think now we're going to draw the breastelines. So how I usually find where the start of the breasts go is there's sort of like an invisible line about halfway down the shoulder. And right there is where there's like a little extra piece of skin. Usually. And then from there you cross. And this is where our boobs go. So they're a little unbalanced, so I'm going to try to find the balance, find the boob balance. Now I usually don't notice this line in anime and manga as much, especially like in shoujo where everything's like really, really stylized and smooth. But it's okay to kind of leave it there because this is a good place. This is where a lot of tension occurs, like in your armpit area. So this is where a lot of fabric wrinkles will happen. So it's okay to just leave it there for, you know, reference. Okay, so yeah, I think we've kind of balanced the breasted leans. I could probably even make them, oops, drawn on the wrong layer. I could probably even see how to make them a touch smaller. To be honest, the contours of the breasts are going to get a little lost underneath this jacket, which is, I usually write down a bunch of notes before I start, like, oh, I need to go over this, this, and this, and we're going to go over the jacket. So I'm just going to show you the general anatomy, and then we'll, from there, we'll do like the props and stuff. Okay, so I'm kind of skipping around a little bit. I'm actually going to do the feet so that I have a better idea of where the legs will go. And I can already see in my navigation window, which you guys can't see, that I'm going to need to adjust some things. That's okay. That is okay. So we'll draw the easy one first. I always think it's easier to draw feet from the side. Okay. Okay. So this was kind of basic feediness. She's actually wearing boots, but I guess I'll just kind of include that, the prop and clothing layer. Okay, so I'm actually gonna make this layer a little lighter. Yeah, she seems a little narrow in the hipples. There. Yeah, you probably I try not to get the hips too narrow. There's like a real need, especially when you're raised on like anime and manga and stuff, to kind of like move the hips in more than the shoulders. So I try to like I fight that urge, you know, I over exaggerate the hips a little bit. And I know you're looking at this like, oh, it's not over exaggerated at all, but like, yeah, like I said, if you grew up on like Utena, you're just like, let's make the hips like this big. No, we're not doing that. Not today. Not on my watch. Okay, so now I like almost always have trouble drawing legs from the front. So I like to put in some little markers about where the cavils will be. Actually, this foot could do to be turned a little more forward. I'm going to do that so that she's not so, like, her legs look a little, or like her feet are like really cockeyed. I don't know. It's like, if you looked at it from above, it's like, oh, my dog just left the room. Like, shut up, I'm trying to sleep. But like her feet are kind of like almost in a perfect, like, what would this be, like perpendicular to each other? Like almost like a ballerina pose. It just doesn't look very natural. So okay. Don't forget to draw your butt cheeks. Even though this is probably going to be covered up by pants. Okay. Actually, sorry, I'm just trying to think like how, like how thick her ankles should be. And I always like am terrible at legs just because they're long and complicated and scare me. Yeah, so like this one's all wobbly now. It doesn't help this isn't a very comfortable angle to draw from. A lot of people think I'm left-handed because of the way I turn my canvas, but it's just a little easier for me to stroke in these directions. I'm right-handed, by the way. Man, there's a Let's Player I watch, and I find it so unusual. I think he's the only Let's Player I watch who is left-handed. I think it's Northern Lion. But I could be totally, totally wrong. And I just put her knee on the front of her, on the side of her leg. It should be more like over here. Okay. I feel bad. I feel like I should make her legs skinnier. Let's just see what it looks like. If I don't like it, I'll just change it back. There we go. I think that is better. Personally, I think it matches the original a little more, but like with muscles. So now now that I'm looking at this thigh seems a little less defined. Okay. I think we're getting somewhere with this. Okay, so now I'm actually gonna touch up the top again now that I've drawn the legs. That's the nice thing about Photoshop is like you can be like, whoops, now it all looks like crap. Time to fix all of it. Okay, so what we're gonna do is get rid of some of that. I'm also gonna warp. How do I want to do this? Get rid of this. Sorry, I'm just trying to make this a little more narrow. Okay. So I'm actually going to tighten up the top a little bit. aka move the upper torso in a little bit. So there, I think that's a lot better. I think she's more in proportion now. Yeah, definitely, because now we can put more casual arms in. Like before, she was kind of like she kind of reminds me a little bit of Johnny Bravo, how he like stands with his shoulders like way out, like hoo ha hoo, you know. That's my terrible Johnny Bravo impression. I will say though, you hit like all your landmarks. Like you have your hands in about the right position, you have your feet, your knees. You know, you actually did a really nice job on that. So I'm just touching up a few little things. I'm just doing some yard work basically. No big deal. I'm actually going to do the face now because I can't stand it. I want to do the face. I want to do the face. Leave me alone. Okay, so we're going to do an anime face. For fun. And I'm totally going to be a cheatsy. I'm going to just draw one half, then mirror it over, and then adjust from there. Cheatsy. Okay. So, let's see. These are not typically what I would think of as anime eyes, but I don't know if that's... I'll just go over them. I'll just shut up now is what I'm trying to say. I'm sorry my lines are kind of lumpy. It's because I use a pencil brush when I do this stuff. And it's mostly, it allows me to get away with not doing like totally perfect, smooth ass lines. Alright, so put our ear. Over here. How smooth or not smooth, and by smooth I mean this outer line. Like a lot of people, like in anime, a lot of times you'll see like just a perfectly smooth ear, with not a lot of detail. This tends to be the kind of ear I draw in Trying Human. Just I like it, but ears are actually more shaped like that. It just depends on like how you want to draw it. I'm kind of keeping it smooth over there though. Okay. And then let's see about... I'm just going to put a light line there for now. And another for there. Okay. Just trying to make sure I hit all the like everything on the middle. Okay, so let's be cheaties. I really shouldn't say this is cheating. I'm sure lots of folks do this when they draw a character from the front. It's just easier. It's a time saver. So I was a little worried about that. She looked a little alien-y. Which is no problem. I love aliens. But I'm actually going to just temporarily move her head over. So I'm matching on this center line, but I think her eyes need to come in a bit. And I'm actually going to soften the interior area to try to escape that a little bit, the alien look. So I noticed in the original, so I keep going back to the warped one, it's just, here, I'll do this. Okay, there we go. So, I noticed you have kind of like a nose drawn like that, which is sort of like a side nose on a front-facing face. One thing I would recommend doing is if you want to imply the curvature, this is kind of like an older anime look, is to draw the side and then draw like a shadowed area. I don't know if they do that anymore. To help imply that yes, this is like a nose that sticks out, but so you can escape drawing like that side nose kind of thing. Let's also bring her features down a little bit so that the eyebrows match the top of the ears, and so that the nose and the whole face is just a little more compact because it's sort of stretched a little bit. And then let's move this over to the neck. There we go. Perf. I'd recommend making her neck just a little wider. Okay. So let's do the arms, and then we'll move on to like accessories. I think how I'm gonna do the arms is I kind of loosely put a sketch there for like what their position is gonna be, but I'm gonna actually wipe this all out. Part of the reason I'm doing that is I find the original a little distracting while I'm trying to do the arms, and it's mostly because I've moved the body in so much that it is now a distraction. Like, it's not something I can just trace over and like kind of fix a little bit. That's just me. It's something about the original, so that's okay. I can still barely see it, but it's not like a huge distraction or anything. Okie dokie. So let us do a little turny-turny. And then I'm actually gonna do cheaty again. Part of the reason I'm being so cheaty on this is because I think this drawing is supposed to be a reference for a roleplay. What is going on here? That got moved up somehow. Hold on. Nope. which I think is why she's in like a really neutral pose. So I'm not going to change that. Makes my life easier, not changing it. I will, however, get rid of those. Okay. Alright, so for her hands, I guess this one's supposed to be kind of like a neutral. A not badly drawn neutral hand. And then, it's not good. Hold on. Hands always take me a while. I'm not some kind of like hand guru. I can't just like whip hands out. So whenever I have to, I always kind of dread doing them for Redline Tuesdays because I can't draw hands as fast as I can like other body parts. But, and then over here she's got her bow. So this is going to be a fist. But we'll wait to get to it because I've got to draw the bow. Okay, so do some shoulder smoothies and everything. Let's get on to her costume. Sort of thinking her smile shouldn't be there. I think I've also opened her eyes too much. Let's see if I can fix that without having to redraw it all. Whoa, that's not what I wanted. Wanted that layer. Okay. Cheat. Okay, so I made her a little more squinty. Alright, and let's do her costume. I'm gonna flip for a little while. Though you can't really notice a difference since a lot of the body is mirrored. Yeah, it's not really that big of a difference. Okay. So we'll do the clothes in that color. Body. Sorry, I'm just labeling my layers. Now, the reason I'm choosing to go ahead and do the costume, because I normally kind of avoid the clothes. The only reason I'm doing it is because this is kind of like a long jacket, and I haven't really done anything like that before, so I thought it'd be kind of cool to give you the lowdown on that. Okay, so I'm trying to think of what kind of a jacket this is. It's kind of like a piratey jacket, huh? It doesn't really have a collar, though. Oops, one sec. Shoulder itch. Ah, okay. Let's see here. So this kind of a jacket's probably going to be pretty stiff, so you're not going to be doing like those kind of wrinkles. You're going to be doing like more like a cylinder at the bottom, if I can do that. I also noticed in the original that there's no, like the jacket just disappears, like there's no panel back here, which makes me think it's like a piratey jacket with a split in the back, but you should still have a little bit of something showing behind her legs. So like something like that. I'm doing it terribly though. Let me just... You're rushing me, guys. You're rushing me. I'm gonna mirror this part that I've done already because there's not a lot to it, and it sets up a base for everything else I'm gonna be doing. Okay. So yeah, you should probably have your split somewhere in there. Okay. Would help if I had gotten like a reference of a piratey coat, because I'm just kind of winging what a piratey coat looks like. This is probably the worst piratey coat ever drawn ever. I'm actually going to make this more there. I'm going to make it more there. I was having a little trouble seeing it. So I like to have a nice little, with really tailored jackets, I like to kind of end on the shoulder and a point a little bit, because this is where the sleeve would be sewn on. And like I said before, you're not really going to see the contours of the breast through the jacket. You might, like, if you do a shadow here, you know, you'll get that feeling of a contour, but really you shouldn't be like, you know, because the jacket doesn't like go under the boob. At least when I wear jackets, I don't like crotch it all up under my boobs. So, just something to keep in mind. I'm actually going to turn it so I can draw this a little more easily. Just making that like a dotted line so you could just barely get the idea of where that's all supposed to be down there. How am I doing on time? Oh, good, we're only at 30 minutes. Though this might be a two-parter, and if you're on the second part, you knew before me. So how's everybody doing out there? I hope you're doing good. I got Animal Crossing New Leaf. I love Animal Crossing. I've had every version of it since forever. Except Animal Forest, which was Japan only. That's the original version of Animal Crossing. So, yeah. If you've got Animal Crossing New Leaf, you should put your friend code in the comments down below, or send me a private message, because I need a slingshot really badly, and I don't have the store upgrade that has it, because my store's made of poop. Up, cheaty. It's happening. The cheatiness. Oh my gosh. How can we stand it? You can all just shut up. That's how we stand it. Bam. Oops. Oh gosh. My vertical lines need work. So what I'm doing is I'm kind of eyeballing where the tension point in the armpit is, and I'm doing like an additional, like a little bit of a wrinkle to help sort of, oh, I can't explain it, like draw your eye up, I guess. It just feels right for it to be there. But if you don't like it there, don't do it. So here we go, a little belt. Wrinkles from the shirt. What is the shirt exactly? Well, you can't really see it, but okay. So pro tip on drawing belts. You draw belts like this where you do the, around their waist. And something that people forget about belts is the belt loop. Let's just put shadow here. So what I like to do is I like to fill in the belt color. Like that. Okay, so filled in belt loop, or belt color. And then, so here's our pants. There's a groin, zipper, other set of pants. Okay, so then what I do is I take my eraser and I just kind of eyeball where the belt loops go. Yeah, and it's just like a nice little easy way to sketch that out. And I do a similar thing when I ink it. Like, usually my belts are really dark brown or black, because that's like a pretty typical belt color. So I just fill this in with black or dark brown, and then I just kind of erase away where I want the pant color to show through. So just quick little belt drawing tip there. You can't see the belt loops here, obviously, but yeah. Okay. Now to draw the pants. So one thing I'm going to do is probably fill this in dark, the back part of the jacket, just so it's not as distracting. Because right now it's kind of like an arrow going to her crotch, like crotch, you know. So I'll do that in a second. I think she's supposed to be wearing tights, maybe? I'm not sure. But first we'll draw the boots. So as always, do your cylinders. Build off of them. Let's put some fun wrinkles in our shoe. And I think there's like a lace, yeah. So this is kind of a badly drawn sole on our boots here, but gets the point across. Okay, same thing. Cylinder. Kind of looks like a little lampshade at the top where the boot like folds over. Fun little wrinkles. Let's do this first. There we go. That's a more proper looking sole. It doesn't look like a whole lot better, but it's a little more decent than the other one I drew. Oops. Okay, and so yeah, I think she's supposed to be in tights now that I kind of give this a second inspection here. So what I'll do is get rid of some of that. I will just darken this. And then I'll leave the crotchal region alone, and hopefully it's not too... it wouldn't be as distracting if it was colored or had some sort of a grayscale on it, but right now it's kind of like, ooh. But trust me, you want this to be here. You want like the back of the jacket to be present, because without it, it sort of looks like the back of her coat is missing. Well, I don't know. Is it supposed... Like, I'm confused now because I'm thinking, well, you wouldn't wear... You wouldn't wear a belt with tights, so... I guess I'll just add on some details. Maybe they're supposed to be like really tight pants. Like hipster pants. Where's my rotation? There we go. So yeah, they'll just be really tight pants, I think. Which is kind of nice because it lets you still see the anatomy underneath. Though this part here could hurt to be adjusted a little bit, or couldn't hurt to be adjusted. Okay. So there we go. There's the jacket, and I'm actually gonna do... Oh, I forgot like the little... whatever these are. The clasps or... Also, I'm sorry to any tailors out there who are just looking at this like, oh, this isn't how you draw a piratey coat, or it's all wrong. I apologize. You know, I would actually recommend leaving these two bottom ones off because this crotch area is already getting like really noisy. Settle down there. You don't need that many details. You noisy crotch. Alright, I'm gonna do her hair as well on the like prop clothing layer. Okay, so draw your hair part. What is going on here? I feel like I'm getting some weird lag. I don't know what that was all about. It's gone now. Okay. Sorry, I'm kind of a perfectionist when it comes to drawing hair, so I tend to like Control Z it over and over until I feel like it's right. So I like to have the eyes show through the hair a little bit, but there was like a discussion going on a website I frequent where they were like, no, don't do that, it looks terrible. But I like it. I think it looks cute and pretty and tough titties. Now there's times when you don't want to do that, like for dramatic effect, you want the hair to be like over the eyes, and I can respect that. But other times I like it when it shows through. I think it's nice. Okay. There's a few places here where I'm going to erase. Okay, that's it. I thought I was going to be erasing a lot more, but never mind. Alright, so now we're just going to do the bow, and then we'll be done. So, for the bow, I'm just going to sketch this in, but if it looks okay, then I'm just going to leave the sketch and be like, there you go. So I'm just trying to rough this out. Now, a big mistake when people draw hands holding something, you want to make sure that the let me just draw a hand real quick. Oh god, that thumb's terrible. Whatever. Okay, so when you draw something that's flat or curved, you really want to make sure that well, I should say, if you want to draw something flat like a bow, you want to make sure that it lays against the hand, like against the palm, like that. Like you can really feel that the hand is laying on this flat thing that I'm drawing very terribly. Like you don't want from the side, like if you have your hand, this is like the side. You don't want it to be gripped like this. This is kind of awkward. People generally don't grip things like straight on like this. It's kind of hard to explain. If you pick something up, you'll know what I'm talking about. So we're just going to follow the contour of the hand to make sure that that is laying flat, okay? Yeah, I'm not liking this sketch. I wanted to kind of follow the way that the original artist drew it, where it's like kind of coming in front. I'll have to think about this. Hold on one second. Okay, we're back. Sorry, I was just checking on something. I have an idea. We're gonna get all pro up in here. No, we're not. Ugh, I don't like this bow at all. Doesn't feel right. I don't know. I'm not. Just not feeling it. I'll try drawing it in 3 parts and see if I can sort of make it work. Or 3 parts to each side. Oh, it's not great, but I think it's something that I can work with. Okay. So what I'm going to do is actually do ultimate cheaty. I'm going to use the pen tool to kind of help me out a little bit. It still doesn't really feel right, but we'll give this a shot. What I would probably do is actually make a model of the bow in Google SketchUp and go from there. Because this is not looking too hot. I'm sorry. I went into this thinking, nah, I'll draw. Bow won't be too hard to do, but I'm actually like really struggling with it. And I don't really have enough time to do much more with it. Yeah, I apologize that that bow looks pretty damn crappy. I would probably recommend modeling it in Google SketchUp, which is totally free, or download a pre-existing model from the Google SketchUp warehouse of a bow and turn it so that you can get it into this position and use it as a reference, because this looks like poop. I apologize. I really thought going into this, I was like, I'm gonna do that bow. I want to draw that bow, but nope, don't look so hot. Well, I gave it my all. I gave it the old college try, so to speak. Oh well. It doesn't look awful, but I would definitely recommend referencing it from elsewhere. Because mine doesn't look too great. I'm gonna cry. I feel so disappointed. But at least the girl looks okay. The body looks good. So yeah, I think that's gonna be it. We are gonna call this one. Please keep sending in your Redline Tuesdays to emy.bitner at IntroducingEmy.com. And if anybody asks me for that email address again, I'm gonna explode because I've said it a dozen times now. So let's do a little contrast and compare. Boop, 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 boop. Okay. And let's thank Minecrafter for this cool drawing that we got to work on. And I hope that the improvements are decent. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Bye!